we get started on our training topic, which is going to be our going over our Power Hour topic, which is going to be going over the OHCC and Carewell training programs, there are a few logistical things that we want to go over so that way you're prepared for the meeting. And so for if everybody could listen up before we get started, we have a few things to go over when it comes to the interpretation channel. So at the bottom of your screen, what I need you to do for me is to look for your interpreter globe. Look for your interpreter globe. It might be underneath the More button. And then I need you to choose English if you speak English. For all my English speakers, I need you to choose the interpretation channel and then choose English. Can I have my Somali interpreter read this for me?
Dooro interpretation qaybta hoose ee Zoom waxay ku jiri kartaa more. Dooro Somali.
Thank you. And my Russian interpreter?
Спасибо все, кто подключились. Чтобы выбрать русский перевод, то нажмите Interpretation. Там на низу будет круг или глобус внизу экрана. Под More, возможно, выберите русский язык, и вы сможете тогда услышать русский перевод.
Thank you. And my Spanish interpreter?
Seleccione interpretación en la parte inferior de Zoom y también puede aparecer bajo más o 3 puntos. Escojan español.
Awesome. And then Mandarin, Chinese?
如果说是你是说中文普通话的话，请你在这个荧幕的最下面那一行会有一个选择的余地，叫做说是听到 Mandarin 或者是说 Chinese Chinese， 请你选那个 Chinese 那个字。
Thank you. And then Cantonese?
喺 Zoom 低部選擇 Interpretation， 可能喺 More 入邊咧，你就選擇廣東話 Cantonese。
And Vietnamese?
Chọn Interpretation ở dưới cùng của Zoom có thể nằm trong nút More rồi chọn tiếng Việt Vietnamese.
And Arabic? Is my Arabic interpreter there?
Oh, they might be in the Arabic channel.
My apologies. Yes, I was. صباح الخير. انزلوا على أسفل الشاشة على مور لحد ما تلاقوا الكرة الأرضية وبعدين حددوا اللغة العربية.
Over. Thank you so much. And so now I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And I'm going to turn it over to the first presenters for today, which is Carewell, and we'll have Hala present. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome. My name is Hala, and I'm with the Carewell Training Navigator team, along with my colleague Adam, who's part of the partnership coordinator. We're going to be presenting about the trainings that are available to you as care providers from Carewell, and then followed by OHCC. So we're going to start by talking about the trainings from Carewell, since they are the required trainings to become a home care provider. You're going to need to have an account with Carewell, or you need to register for an account. So in order to do that, all you need to do is go to our landing page, and we'll share that link in the chat. And once you're there, you want to click on the training tab, this one right here, and you're going to get a drop-down menu. And then you want to look for new worker training. And once you click on that, it will take you to a new page. On the new page, you want to scroll down and you want to look for these two boxes. You want to choose either to register for an account or log in to your existing account. After you make your choice, then that is going to take you either to the register page or the login page. And also you can see here, you can register your account in your preferred language as well. Now, if you don't have an account, you will fill out the registration form, which is that image that you see here on the left-hand side. You also want to make sure that you scroll down. There's a scroll bar right here because there's a lot of fields that you need to fill in order to register. So we want you to make sure you get all those fields filled in. And you also want to make sure that when you are filling out your information, that it does match the same information that you filled out in your application with your local office. They need to match. Now, if you already have an account, all you need to do is just log into your CalWell Learning portal, and you're going to see this image show up for you right here. All you have to do is just enter your username, which is your email, and then whatever password that you set. Now, if you forgot your password, just click on the Forgot Password link right here, and Carawell will send you a password reset email. Now, once you've logged in, you're going to see this screen, and you want to go and click on My Courses so you can register for a new worker orientation training session. So click Start in order to sign up for a new worker orientation training session. If this is showing up in English for you and you need it in a different language, please contact the Member Assistance Center for help, and they can help you change the language. Once you're in My Courses, here you can now choose your session for new worker orientation. So all you have to do is click on that Choose Session tab. And when you click on that, you will see all of the upcoming trainer-led new worker orientations, and they will be listed by date and location. So you're going to see a screen like that, and you pick the session that you want, and you just click on Enroll. And then once you enroll, it will show you all the location, the time and date of your training, and you'll also get an email with all that information in there. Now, after you complete the required new worker orientation training and you pass the assessment, you're going to have 2 other required trainings that you need to complete after you get your provider number. And they are Core Part 1 and Core Part 2. These will be ready for you to do online. They're self-paced once that provider number gets active. And these trainings need to be done and completed within 120 days after you receive your provider number. Now, for those of you who've completed new worker orientation and you received your provider number, you will go and log back into your portal and start doing the required Core 1 and Core 2 trainings. And here's how it's going to look like when it's all ready to go. So you have your new worker completed, you have your assessment completed, there's a tracking time and receiving pay module that you need to watch as well, and verified that you have your provider number, it's active. And here you can see, you can start the core trainings and they're ready to go for you. So right now I went over on how to register and how to take the new worker training series, orientation, Core 1 and Core 2. And now we're going to discuss the other trainings that we provide, which is part of continuing education requirements. And I will turn that over to my colleague, Adam, to talk about continuing education. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Hala, and hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. So as Hala said, I'm going to talk about continuing education training, which is required every 2 years for all home care workers, personal support workers, and personal care attendants, no matter how long you've been a provider. The only exception where someone would not need to take our continuing education is if you have an active certification through the Oregon Home Care Commission. And the OHCC is going to be discussing those certifications later in this presentation today, so they can go over those. Otherwise, if you don't have one of those, you need to complete continuing education. And the training consists of 4 hours of required training that you take first, and then you can move on to 8 hours of electives. We have a variety of topics for you to choose from to hopefully best fit your needs and interests. Some examples of our elective include learning about how to do a safe transfer with your consumer, or what kinds of assistive devices may be available for them to use. You can learn about autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, traumatic brain injuries, important medical terminology that's used, or even take trainings to discuss what is an identity, what is intersectionality, and how can you provide strength-based services to your consumers. So hopefully there's a little bit of something for everyone. This continuing education requirement goes into effect at the end of next month. So that's March 31st, 2026. And what that means is that from that date forward, providers need to complete the 12 hours of continuing education in order to renew your provider number. So if you're a brand new provider and you just recently received your provider number, remember that that is good for you for 2 years. So you would then need to complete your continuing education 2 years from now when you go to renew. And this training should be available in everyone's learning portal if you would like to start working on it. If for some reason when you log in, you're not seeing it, or maybe you're seeing it in English and you need to take it in a different language, please just reach out to our Member Assistance Center and we can update that for you. So let's talk about some incentives that we have to completing either the new worker training series or continuing education. We have stipends that we offer, and then we have the Carewell Kicks benefit. So first we'll start with the stipends. A few weeks after you complete training with us, you should receive an email from Carewell that explains to you how to receive your stipend via direct deposit. So you just follow the instructions in the email. And if it's been a few weeks and you have not gotten an email from us, we ask that you first please try checking your spam and junk folder for any email from Carewell. And then if you still don't see it, please contact our Member Assistance Center. And we also wanted to mention, we know that not everyone is capable of receiving their stipend via direct deposit. So if you get the email that you're eligible for your stipend and you need to receive it via check, please just contact our Member Assistance Center so that they can put in that request for you. On this slide, we went ahead and put up the current stipend amounts just so you can see what they are. So for a new worker, the stipend amount is based on the base rate of pay times 14 hours of training. So the current base rate is $21.25 times 14, and that's how you come up with the stipend amount of $298. And similarly, we showed below that just the math that's used to calculate the continuing education stipend. It is based on step 3 of the pay scale times 12 hours of training for a total of $279. And in case anyone wants to see the pay scale and rates, you can find that on the last page or so of the collective bargaining agreement. And we are going to put a link in the chat now to the SEIU 503 website that has that collective bargaining agreement available in 7 languages. And that's just a great resource to have in general. So the other incentive to completing training is our Carewell Kicks benefit. And similar to the stipend, a few weeks after you become eligible for this benefit, you should receive an email from us at Carewell that has a link in the email for you to click on, and it will ask you to log in to a website. And the login is very easy. It just asks you for your email and your last name. And then you'll be taken to the screen that shows all of the shoes available through our program, where you can search by different brands and size and then order a pair that's right for you. And this benefit provides you with a free pair of non-slip shoes once every 12 months. So it's an ongoing benefit. And we're also going to add a link to our Carol Kicks webpage to the chat now, so that if you want to save that link and review it later, you can. And some of you may be wondering how you qualify for the Carol Kicks benefit. So if you're someone who has taken the New Worker Training Series since January 1st of 2024 onward, you would qualify for the Carewell Kicks benefit. Or if you're someone who's been a care provider for a while and you've completed your continuing education training, you would qualify for the benefit. And then lastly, if you have an active OHCC certification, you automatically qualify for the benefit. So there's multiple ways to qualify for the benefit. If you think that you have met these qualifications, but for some reason you haven't received any emails about it and you've never gotten a pair of shoes, please do reach out to our Member Assistance Center so we can check your eligibility and help you access your free shoes. And we know that just in general, we've presented a lot of information. There's going to be a lot more information presented today. So we want you to know that we are here to support with any questions you might have. We've listed on the slide different ways to get in touch with us. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And then after the OHCC is done presenting today, we should have time for answering everyone's questions. So thank you very much.
Okay, I think I'm next. My name is Kelly Stidham, and I work with the Oregon Home Care Commission. And I'm excited to be able to present along with Carewell today because we both of the programs have really great benefits for those that are looking to earn extra money, update or increase their skills. And so it's something that can be done through both programs. I am a learning and development specialist with the Oregon Home Care Commission, and I'm going to go over a little bit in regards to our learning website, our programs, and we have some programs focused on education. We have some other programs that are really good resources as well. So, okay, so as I said, I'm going to show just for a little bit our PACE Learning website because there is a lot of links and good information there that you can access at any time once you're registered on PACE, which is it's the learning system that Oregon Home Care Commission uses. So we're also going to go over the certifications that Oregon Home Care Commission offers and how those equal differentials for those that qualify. We're also going to talk about provider skills. We have classes that focus on provider skills, be it professional development, and we also like to talk about the provider requirements or policies, things that these are tied to so that you have a full understanding of why what we do matters and how we do it matters as well. So I will also be able to talk just briefly and show you our regular website to access other resources that we have, like our Provider Navigator program, which has been really awesome for folks to get in touch with a navigator, an actual person, and talk about what their goals or needs are, and then they can help you navigate to where you can start and continue and complete that process. And then we also have programs like our PPE program, which is personal protective equipment. And there's a link for you to be able to order things like gloves and masks and even some other PPE materials. If you need, you can request through that same link. So we'll be going over those too. A little bit of history regarding Oregon Home Care Commission. It was in 2021 is when Senate Bill 1534 went into effect, and that required training that to be in place for. I mean, training was already in place for other types of caregiving settings, like if people were working in a nursing home or in an adult foster home. But for in-home, there was a need, and so that's what brought about the bill in 2021. And so it required training for those that are providing care in home. And it just helps to be able to outline expectations, requirements, and healthy practices. So as mentioned already, when you are getting your provider number for, you have to do the required training with Carewell within 120 days, the orientation courses they showed you. And so that is it's different than our program, which some people get a little confused sometimes because we do have core courses that are required for certain certifications, but they're not the same core courses that Carewell has. And so you want to make sure that when you're going through that process, you understand where you are and what that counts for, right? So currently, Oregon Home Care Commission, we not only served 1,500 providers last year, but we're now providing courses and information in 8 different languages. We have English, Russian, Spanish, Arabic, Vietnamese, Chinese, and Somali. So things to know, and Adam explained this already pretty well, but Oregon Home Care Commission is continually developing courses because requirements change frequently as well in this line of work. And so one of the newer requirements is that at the end of March next month, there will be 12 credits of continuing education put into effect. And Adam explained already that it's every 2 years. You'll be having to get those continuing education credits, and all that training and information that you gain, it becomes part of how you're credentialed with your provider number and get that renewal or recertification of your same provider number. We also have a newsletter that I will show you in just a moment. And that has lists of classes. It talks about how the certifications work, and we release it every other month, every 2 months. So it's continually updated with the latest and greatest. So The other thing we want to be sure to mention is that Oregon Home Care Commission's certifications can substitute for continuing education from Carewell. And so there are options for folks depending on what topics they prefer or what learning management system they prefer. They have those options. So before I move too much further, I would like to show a couple of these screens that I've just been talking about. So we have this one here, which is our Oregon Home Care Commission website, and I can put this in the chat. This website gives access to pretty much all that we do here. So you can go and look at past meetings or reports, plans for the future. There are a couple of places that I really like to go on this webpage, and that is the resources section. There's one for the consumer employer, and then we also have one for the home care workforce. And so if we go here to the home care workforce, we will have access to questions, information about training, any pay stub or W-2 needs that you might have. You can click on these links and get that support. So we have late or partial payment requests. And then here is what I was talking about with PPE. You can click on this link and order gloves and masks. They will mail them out. They mail them out continually. So you should get it within about a week, and then they give you a month's supply. So that is a really good resource that saves money for consumer and everyone involved. There's also a link here that is good if you feel like you need to report any health or safety issues in the home that you are working in. Maybe you're witnessing dangerous behavior, or there's like problems with sanitary conditions. That would be the place to go. And I did talk about the Navigator program. You can link to that program right here. And so that will give you, again, access to someone that will help you navigate through the systems of what you're trying to accomplish.
Like I told Steve.
I'm sorry? Okay. So the other thing I wanted to show you before I go back to the PowerPoint is our PACE dashboard. And so anybody can sign up for a PACE account, and once you have, thank you, Susan put the website in the chat for us. But once you have your account set up, you have the ability to come in here and have access to the classes you've taken. It can give you a breakdown of certificates that you might be trying to earn, and it will let you know, CPR first aid certification is done and on record. You're 75% complete with the courses that you have to have, and then you need other safety and elective courses. We have a list of courses behind this tab. So it's a good way to be able to track what it is or where you're at in the process of the different certifications that we have. And we'll talk more about those different certifications in just a moment. The other thing I want to point out here before I go back to the presentation is that we have links to the Elevate newsletter and the Elevate class schedule. It all used to be one document that was pretty large, and so we've split it down into a couple different documents so that it's a little bit easier to digest. But the newsletter is awesome as far as having information that that we talk about even today. So the types of certifications, how to work through that process of earning that certification. What does it mean when you have that certification? Does it mean you may earn a differential in pay? You may earn a stipend. You may not earn either of those. So it can help us to know where we are in that process. And we do have our publications available in multiple languages as well. So let me pull this over here, and we will go ahead and get back to our PowerPoint. I'm going to have Kashana, our person that does all certification stuff, talk to us a little bit about this certification information. She has made a beautiful graph and or I guess table, and so we can break it down for you. Okay. And I will just say, I'm sorry, I see your question. I'm sure there's others I haven't answered, but if for CPR training, if you contact Oregon Home Care Commission and we set you up with the CPR training, CPR first aid, excuse me, we will cover the cost. You do have the option of going and finding one on your own, but then you would be responsible for the cost in that case. So, sorry, Kushana, would you like to go over this, or I
Yeah.
can as well? Okay.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. I'm the OHCC certifications coordinator. So I handle all questions or inquiries or anything about OHC certifications. I'm going to put my contact email in the chat, so that way, or if Kelly, if you can grab that real quick and put the certifications email in there. That way, if you do have questions specific to your certification or certifications with OHCC in general, feel free to reach out to me directly. So OHCC does offer about 5 certifications where you can earn a differential added to your base rate of pay. So I'm going to go over those with you really quickly. Our first one and our most common one is our professional development certification, or PDC. You may see PDC a lot more around. This one is for all home care workers. So PSWs, home care workers, or PCAs are eligible to take this training. We offer courses for the PDC online, through PACE, a webinar, or in person. You will see that each of our certifications does require a CPR first aid. Kelly did mention we do offer CPR first aid, cover the cost for that. So that is something that you can take through OHCC, and it would give you a portion of each of these certifications completed. Like Kelly said, if you choose to take it outside of OHCC, you are welcome to. We would not cover the cost for that. And you would be responsible for making sure that it meets the requirements outlined in the collective bargaining agreement, for us to be able to accept that CPR card that's taken outside of OHCC. Those certification or the CPR requirements, if you are deciding to take it outside of OHCC, is it has to be a CPR and first aid. It has to have a demonstration of skills as well, or like a skills test. Basically, you would meet with an instructor and you would show them, I know how to do everything I learned on the online portion. As long as it meets those requirements, then we were able to accept it and put it towards either our professional development certification or these other certifications listed here. The differential for our PDC is 75 cents currently. That will be increasing later this year, I believe, to $1.25. So that's something that we're kind of all looking forward to. The PDC is stackable with the enhanced certification. And what stackable means, you'll see that in this notes column section here. What stackable means is you can earn the PDC differential of 75 cents. And if you earn an enhanced certification and meet the requirements for the enhanced, you can also earn the $1 differential as well. So you can potentially earn $1.75 added to your base rate of pay. Our other certifications are enhanced, exceptional for home care worker, exceptional for PSW, and VDQ. These certifications require that you are working with a consumer that is pre-approved for that particular program. Usually that means the consumer that you're working with has special needs or qualifications that put them in like an enhanced, needing enhanced services or exceptional services. If you want to find out information regarding if the person that you're serving is meeting any of these requirements, that would be a conversation between your client's case manager and you. In the training department, we do not determine consumer eligibility for any of these certifications. So here it also does list out who is eligible for each certification, that they're offered online or webinar or in person through our PACE online training system. It does have what requirements you would need to complete in order to earn the certification, as well as the pay differentials associated with the certifications, and if that certification is stackable with other OHC certifications. We do offer OISG training for PSWs that are interested in it or wanting to earn the exceptional for PSW certification. We offer to pay for the cost for that. And that is something you would apply for with OHCC in order for us to do that. There is no differential just for having the OISG certificate. It's a prerequisite for the exceptional personal support worker certification. You can find all of this information in more detail on our website and in the class schedule. There's more detailed information on there. Also contact information for myself directly or other departments. It's our CPR first aid department. Their contact information will be within the class schedule as well. Currently, right now, we get a lot of questions about stipends. I just saw one pop up. Currently, our only certification that is earning stipend payments is for the professional development certification. The rest of our certifications do not earn any stipend payments. Kelly, did you want to go to the next slide?
Oh, yes.
Each of our certifications, you do have to renew them every 2 years. So providers are allowed to start renewing their certification requirements 12 months prior to it expiring. So for example, if your certification is valid February 1st, 2026 through February 1st, 2028, you can start taking renewal courses February 1st, 2027. Any courses taken before that date, before the 12-month mark, will not count towards your certification renewal, and you would have to retake those courses. When you are renewing, we want you to make sure that your CPR first aid is valid on the date of the certification renewal. Most often, the CPR aid certification will not match up with your OHCC certification expiration date. And an example of that would be if your PDC or your certification expires August 8th, 2026, but your CPR that you have provided to OHCC expires March 1st, 2026, we would not be able to renew your certification until you renew your CPR first aid. So it needs to be active and remain active throughout your certification. OHCC certifications, they will have a different date typically than your provider requirements. So there will be some overlap, such as like the CE requirements. If you have an active certification currently with OHCC and it expires after the deadline for the CE requirements, you are still covered by that OHCC certification. So, the CE requirements are going into effect at the end of March 2026. If you have an enhanced or a PDC and it expires in 2027, you are covered for the CE requirements. You would not have to take those as long as your OHCC certification is active. If your OHCC certification expires, you do lose your differential if the new renewal requirements are not completed before the expiration date. So you will see that differential will be removed from your base pay. And then did you want to go to the next page, Kelly? Or next slide? Kelly kind of already went over this. It's about our Elevate newsletter, where it's going to show like our class schedule. It's going to show certification information. It's also going to show important articles as well for any of the other programs that OHCC offers that Kelly went over in the beginning, such as like PPE, customer relations, questions, things like that. So it is important that you guys know where to find the Elevate newsletter because that's where we keep our most up-to-date information if you're looking for something specific. We did drop that in the chat already, but if you guys do need it, you can feel free to reach out to us directly through the certifications email or our phone number, and we'd be able to further assist you with getting that information. We do have a little bit of time for questions. So Susan or Joanna, is there some questions that either Carewell or we can answer for our providers that are in the meeting?
Yeah, so I see a common one that I will get calls for and emails for. So Susan just answered this. What certificate does this what certificate did you say you can get a stipend pay? So for OHCC, for the professional development certification courses, you can be eligible for a stipend. So for CPR, no, but for the courses to earn your professional development, yes.
Okay, was there any other questions in the chat that we can answer?
I don't see any common questions, Krishana and Kelly.
Okay. If we already have our CPR certification, how do we go about going and starting the other certifications to get that increased pay?
I can answer that one, Kelly. So you're going to log in. Have you registered? You would want to register for PACE, which is the website that we put in the link for the OHCC training site. If you are already registered, you will log in. And then Kelly, do you want to go back to that screen real quick for the PACE so we can show everyone where exactly they would register for the classes and where they would start taking those? All right, so once you log in, you're going to be on this page here, and you're going to see the option to register for a course. This is where you would sign up for OHCC courses to earn towards your professional development certification, your enhanced certification, exceptional, or VDQ, whichever certification you are wanting to earn. If you look below where you see certifications and they're listed out, you will only see certifications listed here that you are eligible for. If you click on details next to the professional development certification, it'll give you a drop-down list of the requirements for that certification. Once you complete a course, you'll see a green check mark, and that will let you know that you completed that course and the other requirements that need to be completed. So once you have a check mark by electives, CPR first aid, safety requirements, and the core courses, once all of those are green checked mark, then OHCC certifications will be notified that you are requesting the PDC certification.
So do we have to take these courses or?
You can either choose to take courses with OHCC or with Carewell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jessica.
Yes, I have a question. I got the certificate for the CPR and first aid from the, that is still acceptable or I
So
have
for
to go
your
by the ASEA?
so for us to review, for OHCC to review your CPR first aid card, you would have to log into your PACE account or register for one if you don't have one. And once you're logged in, you're going to upload your CPR first aid card. And you can see Kelly's mouse is going to be hovered over that. Once you click on that, you're going to upload an image of your card. And OHCC will be able to review your card and see if it's eligible for the CPR first aid differential. It does need to meet the requirements that are in the collective bargaining agreement for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
thank you.
yeah, of course.
This meeting is being recorded. Can we access it through OHCC?
Yes, it's going to be on the OHCC website. We have our previous power hours posted there as well, Starla, if you wanted to look at some previous sessions.
Yes.
We're going to have Kelly show you real quick where to go for those.
Okay, there's a question from Yuzhu Chen. She's asking about the once I complete the class, when I can get the after I finish the class, how can I receive the additional pay?
Okay, give us one moment. We're still answering the question regarding the previous power hours.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure. I thought I went to meetings. I did. Okay. Are these our power hours? I'm sorry, I didn't look at this ahead of time.
Adam just put the link in the chat.
Oh, perfect.
If you want to.
Yeah, let me get that. Hey, there we are. So, yeah, you can access information about upcoming meetings. There's also information about, well, the recordings are available and for past sessions that we've had. So, like we can go back right now. We have from May of last year, 2025, all the way to today's current meeting. Okay.
So if I got my CPR training and first aid training through OHCC, do I still need to load that to the PACE website or would it already be there?
No, you are required to upload that to the PACE website for review and approval.
And before we move on, I know we had a question before from, was it our Cantonese interpreter?
No, it's about Mandarin question.
No,
Yuzhen Chen was
I keep
asking
on got
about
frozen
after I complete the class,
from
how
time to
long will it
time,
take
but
to
it seems
receive
to
the
be doing it
additional
okay now.
payment?
It's going to depend on the certification that the provider is wanting. So once all requirements, that includes the coursework and an approved CPR first aid card are completed, OHCC will follow the processing guidelines outlined in the collective bargaining agreement for that particular certification. I know Adam put that link further up in the chat. But if Kelly or Susan, if you want to add that link again, for the providers to get access to that, it does outline the processing requirements for each certification.
I am so sorry. My computer, part of my computer is frozen. So I'm trying to grab some of these links. But there is another question in here that someone's asked. What do I need to do if I'm already PDC certified as a home care worker and I recently received a new provider number as a personal support worker?
If you want to email certifications directly for your question, that email is in the chat. And then I can answer your question directly regarding your particular situation. I'm not sure who asked that, but yes, if you do obtain another provider number, you would need to email the certifications.
I will add, if you are someone that is interested in what OHCC has, but not necessarily the classes, so you're not in PACE and you don't want to register for that, you can contact us and ask to receive the newsletter when it comes out, or whatever those things are that are interest of yours, and we can follow up with you to make sure you get that information. Okay. I see one more question, how to request payment for the training finalized. I'm not sure I understand exactly what we're referring to as far as trainings being done. With Oregon Home Care Commission, when you do take a class that is eligible for a stipend, then you don't have to do anything. It will just come automatically. If you are talking about the payment after you receive the certification, then that will start once the certification has been earned. Again, you don't have to do anything. It gets processed and just goes through to your regular pay.
And with Carewell, you need to complete either the 12 hours of continuing education when you're renewing. They all have to be completed before you get the stipend. And same thing with the new worker training series. You need to complete all 3 new worker orientation, core part 1, core part 2, and then you will get the stipend for those. But they all need to be completed first.
Thank you. Okay. I believe we had saved a little bit of time at the end for questions, and we're answering questions right now. But if anyone, if there are any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. And if I don't know,
you email the links to my email so I don't have to try to look them up.
Let me, do we have anyone that would be able to follow up afterwards with her? Yes. I think if you emailed training OHCC, we would be able to get that information, or help you get to where it's all at in one spot. So,
okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
They told me after 2000 hours, the working, they increased the income for $1. Who gonna do that part?
So, I know that I'm not, Oregon Home Care Commission does not manage the payroll or payments or things like that, that's a different department. But if you have concerns, questions, or issues, we are always happy to try and help get those resolved. So
who take care of that part? Because I'm confused. Who should I call for that part?
I believe the MAC can check that for you, the Member Assistance Center.
Is there any phone number I can call them?
Yeah, we just shared it in the chat. It's right there.
Okay, you put it in the chat.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's see.
Okay, you're very welcome. We have a few more minutes for questions. We had one come in about your accumulated hours. I don't know if you're talking about like paid hours, like stipend hours, um, classes, or like the hours that you work. But for our trainings, if it is eligible for a stipend, even if it's not, the information is available as far as how many credit hours, and we just translate those into regular hours. So if a class is worth 3.5 credits, there would be 3.5 hours of stipend paid at the base rate. Okay. And Bearcat, I don't know the answer to that question. I think fingerprints are collected and done through the whole process of getting your provider number is working with the local office to do those pieces. So I just don't have an answer. I would contact the local entity that is managing the care for the person you work for. Accumulated hours, Diana. Oh, I understand as far as the pay rates. They will be tracking those hours through you turning in your time information. And so you should be able to see on your pay stub how many hours they are counting for you.
Kelly, is this a question about the step increases?
I was assuming so, but I could be wrong.
So there are 2 look back periods in July and January of each year, and they look back to all the hours that you worked, and then they will see if you qualify for an increase in your pay. And if you're a personal support worker, you can see that information on Express. If you are a home care worker or a personal care attendant, that number is on your remittance advice.
All right. I just wanted to step in real quick. We're at 11 o'clock. And so if you have any additional questions, Carol has placed their contact information. If you can't already, Carol, go ahead and put your information in the chat field. Joanna, if you can go ahead and put our phone number and our email address in the chat field as well. I do want to thank you all for joining us today and remind you all that we do power hours every month. It's the last Wednesday of the month. It'll be from 10 to 11. So please continue to join us, and we are so glad to have you here with us today. Hope you all have a wonderful day today.